Today I'm going to share my experience with Human Garage and how I became a coach. And yeah, it's almost like a testimonial. So for you also to see how the journey can look like, but also to say from the start on, every journey is so different because we also everyone has a different starting point, right, to begin with. So I already was in a healing journey. My healing journey started more or less in 2016. So I saw an Instagram post from Human Garage about like how to de-stress your body, and I thought, "Ooh, this is interesting. What is this?" It was in 2022, like I think in fall or something. And I tried it, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, this is really working. What is this? I want to know more." So I checked their website. I started with the 1 day, and then the 3 day, the 7 day, and ended up with the 28-day reset. Back then it was a little bit different. So we had a call a week, a meetup where the core team was there. Mostly Jason and Gary were talking. And you could raise your hand and you could share whatever you wanted to share, or questions that you want to ask. And I think this was the most profound experience for me, because I realized how much power it has when you suddenly have people that are going through the same process as you, and someone is sharing something. And it's not related to you, it's something completely different, and you still can learn something from it. You're still taking something from it. And I never experienced something like this, and this kind of energy, let's say. And then also I started sharing, I started raising my hand and sharing, and it was really, really supportive and helpful. I felt seen. So for me, I think the first step, it was not so much, I didn't really have body pain or something. I had not had any stuff that came up in my body where I said, okay, I need something else that helps me. For me, it was really more the emotional part, coming from anxiety and, anxiety attacks and all these kind of things. So for me it was like, I knew already it has to do with stress. So for me this was my entry into doing the fascial maneuver, and I straight away saw how it affected my body. So from the outer looks, how it changed, and also how it changed how I reacted to things, or what kind of capacity I had. I had the capacity to observe myself more, and to also take responsibility. Like, maybe I didn't feel that in the way in the beginning, but it started to progress. So, and I remember that Gary said, now probably when your body is in stress, the emotions that coming, it's more like this, really steep hills, and it's going up, down like this. So you're gonna have super highs and you're having super lows. And it's also exhausting, right? And then you're coming to a different level where it's a little bit more like this. The waves are a little bit, not that high anymore. And then you come to another level where it's like, it's more manageable because your body is out of stress and you can just handle more. So I was hooked. I did it really every day. I didn't take the supplements just because I couldn't afford it. Also, for me to see, okay, I want to have the experience only with my body. But anyway, I didn't have really a choice. So this is how I started. And then straight away I went to LSA1. It was not even a question for me. I just wanted to know more. I was so hooked. because I saw how my body is reacting to it and how much better I felt. Back then I was in a relationship that was not working, but was, well, we are really, really good friends. And I think that was also helping me to see more clearly what is going on there, to have more capacity, to also build self-trust again, listen to my intuition. And then at some point, I think it was towards, 28-day reset, in the middle of it, after 2 weeks, I detoxed for 2 weeks. I had to stop because I was lying in bed and I could not, it was a heavy reaction of my body. But it was okay. I just went through it and then I picked up from where I left and ended the 28-day reset. And anyway, after that I did it a couple of times. So I had also, now that it changed a little bit, I did it. And and then it started that my left hip was in pain. So I could not really, I felt that my body is compensating as soon as for example, when you brush your teeth and you want to take the water in, you bend over, and then I even do it now, I bent a little bit more to the left, so I had to compensate, and my hip shifted as well. So I think there are several things that connected to that hip pain. I think this is because of the palate swipe. We are, so before that, we have more pressure here on the right side, on the head, and the hip is slightly rotating. So now we're doing the palate swipe for so many times, right? So now the body is starting to shift back, so it has to adjust. And suddenly, okay, what's happening here? And the body is moving basically inside. So I think this is one part, how I explain it. The other thing is that I realized that I was afraid to move on. But that came only later. Like, I didn't realize that for a long time. I was wondering, what is this pain? And for sure it was connected, it was worse when there was an emotional, let's say like a conflict with my partner or with friends, with family, with something. Then I felt it more. So I thought, okay, this is connected. So whenever I have something emotional, then my left hip starts to say hello. So the journey of just to end that, the journey of my hip, I went then to Mexico the beginning of this year, 2024, to the core team with all the other coaches, kind of our graduation. And there I also experienced that pain. And because we were working on each other to kind of see and practice as well, right? And to learn. In the end, I did probably too much. I really was forcing it. I wanted to release it. I was like, okay, now's the time to release that pain. What is it? And in the end, I remember that we did a maneuver, and I just was like, it was so much pain, and I was on the floor crying. And Jason was next to me, and the group was around. And I realized that it was something from my past, but it connected to my past, like not feeling seen. But on the other hand, it was also like being afraid of moving on. Like I was holding myself back of becoming the person that I am now. So much more self-confidence. I know what I want. I trust myself. Have better, I know I can feel my intuition. So in the end, Jason said, okay, you not do anything anymore. Like no maneuvers for you, no more practicing. Go just for a walk and walk with the pain. And that's what I did. And it slowly released. It still took like 1-2 days or something like this. And it popped up again when I was home. Yeah, it was not finished then, but slowly I started to realize what it actually is for me. This is really my story. I mean, the left hip is connected to, because hips is the one, or the hip are the one that, you know, helping, like basically are responsible for you walking. So if this is like kind of in a pain, it means for sure it's connected to, okay, moving on, where you want to move on to, what is holding you back, what belief is holding you back. So that was, I don't have this pain anymore. I sometimes maybe can feel a soreness or something like this, but it's not at all like it was before. And yeah, I guess this is my body talking to me in a way, like also giving me a little bit of a push, like, okay, go on, go on. Yeah, so this was a big thing for me. And I remember after the LSA, was it 1? I believe it was LSA 1. Cynthia was doing an interview with me after that for the LSA 2. She was asking me how I'm feeling. I was like, wow, I'm feeling so much more light, and as if something took a lot of burden off of my shoulder. Like there's no weight anymore. I feel like, yeah, so much more capacity, so much more space in my body. And yeah, so I kept going. I went to the LSA 2, and there we worked a lot with Aisha, and yeah, this was also very profound, and I think I grew a lot there. And there, you know, every program you go a little bit deeper, and you really get to know yourself. And that's why I think for me, Fascial Maneuver and the whole Human Garage organization, let's say, or movement, it's a holistic thing. It's not just do the Fascial Maneuver. I mean, it's everyone decides for themselves, right? I mean, there are also a lot of other practices that I think that you can connect with yourself. But I think the Fascial Maneuver really is a gateway to get to know yourself again, and to connect with your body, and to not see it as a meat package and like a meat suit, you know, and be like, okay, yeah, this is, you know, this is what keeps me going on, and I can move and all that. No, like respect your body and be like, okay, I know when I eat certain things, my body's gonna react, and there will be consequences. And I mean, the way you talk to yourself, you know, like really more respecting yourself and understanding more what amazing creatures we actually are. I mean, when we are talking about aliens, I think we are the aliens. I mean, look at us and look at our body, how our body is working. It's amazing. So I think this is also one part that I just have a different view now of. I see humans in a different way. Much more understanding, much more compassion as well. And because I understand myself better and I have much more self-love for myself, I also can give more love and have more understanding for other people and more compassion for other people. But also I have more and better boundaries. Like I know now when I don't want something, or when I see, okay, this is not, like, I need to have a boundary because otherwise I'm hurting myself. Yeah, so, and then, I mean, the next step was for me to be a coach. I mean, I anyway was already, or I am, a Pilates teacher. So I was already working with that because it also helped with my anxiety. And I was already doing some progress with that. But with the Fascial Maneuver, it just took it a step, 2 steps or level higher. So for me, it was so natural to just integrate the fascial maneuver into my Pilates classes here. And back then I was working at a hostel and was giving their Pilates classes. And then slowly, sometimes it turned into a whole fascial maneuver class because people were so interested. And then I knew, okay, yeah, I want to know more about it. I want to teach people and I want to support people. And so for me, it was just a natural thing to say yes to the coaching program. And this was the best thing I could do. And I'm really happy to share it now and to support people. And with having said that, I also would announce here that I'm happy to work with you in a one-on-one coaching session. And because I know that some people, for them it's super useful. For me, it was okay to work through it alone. But I also had the calls once a week where, that helped me a lot to kind of see what's going on and learning through others. But sometimes there was the wish of like, oh, I would like to talk to someone just one-on-one. And I mean, in the coaching program, it got more intimate, right? We were, I think, around 20 people, so you got a better overview and suddenly you had some connection with people and you just talked with the person that you were connecting to. So then it changed also a bit. But I know that some people, they just need a hand, and that's completely fine. I just wanted to emphasize that here too. You not have to go through it alone and like be your own kind of motivator. I mean, sometimes it also depends in what situation you are, right? And then sometimes you just need a hand and someone that listens to you and understands you and just, holding space for you. And by holding space, what do I mean with that? I mean, this is also something we say in the spiritual world, right? But holding space is just that someone is there for you, only for you, and it's like supporting you with your needs and with, like just giving a hand. I think this is how you can describe it, giving a hand. It doesn't mean that, I'm not gonna heal anyone, right? That's why I'm not when people say they're healers, I think there's a misunderstanding of the word, because no one can heal you. This is my belief. You are the only one that can heal yourself. And you need to start believing in it. And then your body is capable of the most amazing things. This is a good starting point. So if you're still like thinking about, should I do it? Just try it. Try one of my videos. Hop onto Human Garage website or app and do the program there. Try it out and you will see. And even if you may be already doing it for some time and you think there are not any big releases, they don't have to be big. It's not that every one of us just went on the floor crying and like screaming or anything. It's not about this. Releases can be very subtle. Like when I have here one-on-ones and working with people on one-on-one, the releases, I can feel the releases. Then I get goosebumps all over my body. And the person maybe not even realizing it. So it's really not always a big cry when you have a release. It can be very, very small steps, and you look back at yourself in a year and then you will notice that you changed completely. Also, it's really helpful to do pictures. I did one in a while, and I think even now I thought, okay, it's time to take a picture again, to see what happened in 2.5 years, to see the first picture and the picture now, how my body changed, and I feel like you see it in the face, and obviously also the posture. So from the side you see it a lot, also depending on where you're coming from and what your starting point is. But when I do one-on-ones, this is the most effect I see on people. Yeah, so this is a testimonial. Also kind of a motivation for you to start. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message, write a comment. Yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm feeling seen and watching this video. And don't forget to subscribe, that would help me a lot. Thank you so much.